morning. It is Monday, November the 4th, which is crazy. It's already November, but we're here and you are on Monday Messages with me, Crystal Taylor, the owner of Fitness is Not a Game. And what we're going to do today to start our week off right, we're going to shuffle this deck and of Monday Messages affirmation cards that focus on mindset so that we can get the message that we need so that we can attack the week, the day, the month. Ooh, because tomorrow, we definitely need it for this week because tomorrow is going to be something, right? But we're going to enter into this with positivity, right? So all I do is I shuffle the deck of cards and I let the ancestors guide the message that we need for the day. Okay. All right. I'm of course, drink up. Let's get to it. Let's see what we got today. Wow. Somebody else just posted that they got this card out of their deck the other day. And I was like, man, this is so good. And it came up for us today. Y'all saw me shuffle it. I love this message. It says, you don't drown by falling in the water. You drown by staying there. You see that? Look at that. Can you see that? Who needed this? You don't drown by staying in the water. By falling in the water. You drown by staying. That's the whole message. Look, things happen. Life be lifing, right? But it's a difference between saying, I keep saying, and it feels like this conversation has been coming up a lot lately, but it's okay to acknowledge what the water is, right? What you fell into. But don't just stay there because reasons turn into excuses. When you just sit in it, you're like, oh, this is why I can't. This is why I'm not. You let that reason become an excuse. And now you drown because you stayed in there. So you're like, oh, I don't work out because I don't have time. My schedule's real busy. Okay, that's your reason for now. But when you really want something, you will say instead, man, I need to work out, but my schedule is crazy. How do I make it happen? Because I want this, I need this. It's a matter of priorities, right? So instead, you're like, I'll tell you what I did when my babies were younger. I got up earlier. I sacrificed that extra 30 minutes of sleep so I can get my workout done before everybody woke up in the morning and needed me, right? Because that's what was going to be good for me in the long run. It wasn't like, oh, I have 2 children under 4, also have a husband and I'm running the household, so I just can't work out. Lies. So when we sit in that reason, which is your water, and let it turn into an excuse, that's when you drown in it. Ain't no wrong with falling in water. True. I think many of you, if this is your first time catching me, say hey. I'm going to drop a 1 in the chat. My OGs type of OG in the chat. But I talk frequently about the swimming lessons that I take. I go every week. I've been going every week since last May. And I am a legit swimmer now. I was not a swimmer last May, right? But that's something that I've learned, that it's not about falling in the water. The water ain't what's going to drown you. It's when you decide not to learn how to maneuver and work with it. When you decide not to kick those legs. When you decide not to use your arms. When you decide, I was just talking to my friends last week. One thing I learned, the most important thing I've learned from swimming is that when I'm tired and I feel like, man, I can't keep kicking, I can't keep stroking because I'm tired. My breathing's off. All I got to do is flip on my back and float. Allow myself to breathe. I'm still in the water, but I ain't just stopping like, oh, child, I done fell in the water, I'm tired. So, no, ain't no wrong with being in the water. But it's about how you handle being in that water, how you implement, how you adapt, what changes you make when necessary. Because too often, a lot of us stay in that water and drown because we want to keep doing the same things we have been doing before. Because they worked before, we got comfortable with them before, and they ain't working no more, y'all. They're not. So now, how do we get out of that water? What do we change? What new stroke can we learn? Right? So that you don't just sit there and say, oh, I fell in the water. Times are rough. I'm busy. Money's tight, so I can't buy all the supplements I used to. All my supplements are lined up over here. I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but it's time for me to refill my little container, right? Okay, things happen, but what adjustments can you make? Yeah, you may not be able to get all your supplements, right? You may not be able to buy all your organic foods, but you can still get out there and walk and move. You can still drink some water. You can still be mindful of how you prepare the food you make and buy, as opposed to just saying forget it and fry it. You don't have to drown in that water. As we all know, we can drown in an inch of water because it's not even about the depth of the water. We can go into that for hours. We all fall in the water. But some of you will allow yourself to drown in an inch of water. Not 20 feet, not 100 feet. Because once you get in the water, you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know it was going to be raining today. Fam, we got to be more resilient. We got to focus on that why. It doesn't matter if it rains or not. It don't matter if the lake is out there or if it's an ocean. We're going to keep moving. We're going to keep swimming. And when we get tired, we're going to flip over on our backs and we're going to float. This is one of my absolute favorite quotes, comes from the great Les Brown. He said, if you fall, try to fall on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. And it's the same thing when you're in that water. You can flip on that back and you can look up. That is hope. That is air. Air is life, and it's breathing into your body. So don't fall into that excuse of, I'm in the water, so I got to drown. So you say, oh, okay, the water came. How am I going to get through this? Am I going to swim or am I going to float until I figure out and get my energy back to be able to swim and get through this? Y'all don't y'all let this water take y'all down. Promise I love this. If anybody wants to see it again, hear it again, here you go. Make sure it's in there. Good morning, Miss Angela. She says, the card says you don't drown by falling in the water. You drown by staying there. If you needed to hear this, drop a 100 in the chat. Because this is some real ish if I ain't never heard it before. Stop making those reasons turn into excuses. Understand what the situation is. You should be self-aware, but then also figure out how to adapt so that you can breathe and live, so that you don't drown. So that's it for me, y'all. Y'all got me fired up on this Monday morning. Just finished leg day, feeling good. So y'all got this work. All right, y'all. I am Crystal Taylor, the owner of Fitness is Not a Game, and this has been my Monday message to you that came from my ancestors, because y'all saw me shuffle the deck. I didn't know what was coming, but I feel like we all needed that message today, because life can be life. All right, so I will see you next week. Please have an amazing Monday and the rest of your week. And if you have to go outside, please be safe. So I just want you happy, I want you healthy, and I want you here. All right, y'all. Until next time. Bye.